My idea is I'm trying to slow down travel. I think that we're going too fast and we need to not move as fast. And I think that with the internet we can finally do that. We can finally slow down how fast we're moving. And we don't need to get places as quick. Like we can get rid of those airplanes. We don't need them. And we can get rid of any of the faster cars, basically. Basically, like we can need to cap the speed limit at like 35 miles an hour. And you can text anybody or Facebook message anybody or tweet your location. So everybody, you don't need to worry about people not knowing if you're safe or not when you're doing a cross-country move. And you can take your time. You can enjoy life. Everybody's rushing everywhere. You got to get somewhere. You can go across the country in 4 hours, right, by airplane. But if you're just cruising across the country going 30, I mean, hey, I'll maybe go crazy. If you got to do something cross country, you can go 50 miles an hour. So you can go 50 miles an hour across the country. You make stops. People expect you to take like a month to get somewhere, so it doesn't. You know what I mean? And the whole time, if
your idea is going backwards in time.
Yes, we're gonna go backwards in time.
Can trains still run?
For sure, but they're just gonna go slow.
That is all of my nightmares. I am stressed out listerning to you talk about this.
Oh, that's the problem. That's exactly where we got to do it.
Oh my God.
That's why we have to cap the speed limit at 35.
Absolutely.
Is because people want to get places.
Every time I have to go to work for a meeting that's across the country, which is like monthly, it's gonna take me a month to get there.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So I love that.
In the past, when there was slower, like there were train robbers, like things would go so slow.
Which
like
it's a bummer we don't have those anymore. Train robbers, but
the criminals could like jump on them and take over them. This could usher in a new era of car robberies.
Car robberies. Oh my
God.
God.
That would be so much fun.
Oh my God.
That I can get behind.
So I know it sounds bad, and I know it sounds like a huge commitment. But hear me out. Think about international travel. You're never going to other countries. It is such a commitment to go to other countries. We have no choice but to become isolationists and nationalists. Foreign trade, non-existent. So we are going to become self-containing communities. Now, I want everyone disclaimer.
So you're a seething racist is what
Absolutely, absolutely. What I'm trying to say, you guys, is that if we should all exist at a local level, and any sort of travel should be frowned upon, and if you're going to go somewhere, it is going to be a commitment, absolutely.
Yeah.
And any sort of communication with the outside world is digital.
Now, limiting travel, do you have like an ex who was a travel agent, and this
No.
whole plan is like to get revenge on them?
No. Now, it sounds bad, and it sounds like a horrible idea. If we adopt this idea 100 years from now, when we can control history and no one knows that it used to be better, it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good.
Someone's gonna find an airplane in like
That's when we exterminate everybody.
That's smart. Good. Yes, that's what I wanted to hear.
When we find a airplane in the airplane trash yard, that's what I'm going to call Nebraska. It's where you put all the airplanes in Nebraska, hide those bad boys. Some dude that lives in Omaha, he's lived there his whole life, just like his grandfather. They don't leave Omaha because he'll die. So they,
right.
I mean, they know because you can see pictures that it's not horrible, right? But people disappear when they leave Omaha,
right,
or any city for that matter, because everybody. Now here's the thing.
You're
absolutely. So here's
years from now,
here's the thing: is that 100 years from now, the only people that can move quickly across the globe are the people that control the world.
And the people who have evolved spider legs.
And the people that, because that's another part of the plan, is to evolve certain human beings with spider legs.
I assumed.
Because what's scarier than a spider? A person that's a spider.
Exactly.
Can do
when
anything.
I watch Spider-Man, I just shit myself.
Well, I'm talking the 8 legs. I'm talking creepy crawly human beings. If Spider-Man was just a big fucking spider and he's killing people, he's sure it's criminals, but it's a spider that's attacking dudes robbing banks,
right,
and wrapping them in webs.
Still in America, innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, he's a vigilante spider that is murdering criminals who have not been proven guilty. That's a horror movie.
Okay, so the idea, you cut down world travel.
Yeah, cut down world travel
Make
to almost
a
a
giant
crawl.
spider that fights criminals.
No, that's not
Yes.
part of the plan. The part of the plan is to have spider people, but...
So you have spider people, and then one of them might do that.
What you guys don't know is I talked to Nicki about all this beforehand. She's just playing devil's advocate to move the story forward.
100%.
Yeah.
And also super excited to be like one of the people who has power in the future.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Really trying to hop on board.
Mm-hmm.
The movie Wild Wild West with Will Smith
Yes.
is a lot like what you want it to be. Slower
Yes.
travel,
Mm-hmm.
spiders.
Spiders.
Will Smith
that
is
are
still a
controlled.
prominent person.
Essentially, imagine Wild Wild West, but more of like a Hunger Games feel to it. You know what I mean?
So you want everything to be terrifying. That's the idea.
Well, the ultimate goal is to terrify everybody into submission. I think that we could really benefit. And by we, I mean those of you that decide to control the planet. That we
What's
can't.
the point of controlling the planet if you can't go anywhere?
Oh no, we can.
Yeah, the people with power can
The
still
people
get
can
around.
power. The people with power. That's the thing. Is that if you talk to somebody who doesn't have power in the future, and they can only at this point, there's no reason to have cars because you've limited gasoline. That way, if they can figure out how to make cars move faster, they don't have the gas to get anywhere without refueling.
And
So-
who's honestly going to use a trebuchet? Because that's
That's
really going to be the
true.
fastest way. But
Yeah.
too
I mean,
many
you
casualties.
could do horses, you could do carriages, but a horse has got to eat. And if you're not giving people hay to feed your horse,
But you're
or
doing-
apples,
you're talking
which
about
is what horses run on, I mean.
You're talking about Skype and stuff too. So Skype, so VR.
Oh yeah,
technology.
you absolutely can contact everybody at any point. You can see what's going on in China as long as we haven't nuked China. That's, guys, it's amazing. Like, to the people that live in those cities, it's pretty great. They have everything they could ever want. And we're flying places. It only takes hours for us to get places because technology has only been advancing. Like, we can jet places and be to places in minutes. And then we get there and we're like, it took us 45 seconds to get here. And then the people there are like, it takes us 6 hours to get to the neighbor town. You know what I mean? Like that. My uncle moved to Denver and I haven't seen him in 60 years. What do we... People also live forever. What do we... Because that's not far off, too.
So the idea.
The idea is just to limit travel. These are just all the things that happen because of it.
Is global warming, is preventing global warming, is that part of the plan?
Well,
Is it just to seize power?
Is it just evil, but that's a side
No,
effect?
we don't give a shit about Earth because we're going to develop and we're going to go to another place. But
super slowly.
no, we can move fast. Tom, I feel like you're not getting this.
Tom, you're gonna have to be smarter if you want to be in there.
So who are the... Is
Who's
there,
who's controlling?
one controller of the world who can go fast? or
Oh,
is it
no,
like
I don't
all
trust myself with that
class?
much power. There's like a House of Representatives, which is clearly the best way to do things.
Certainly.
A Congress and a House of Representatives, they control things. Now we call it that. In reality, it's 7 people. The,
All reptilians.
all reptilians, 1 spider.
No.
No, I know that this sounds crazy compared to Darnell's idea. But the thing is that the reason my idea is not crazy is because if you argue it, you'll die.
Or, see that that makes it sound more crazy.
So your idea is taking over the world and restricting people's freedom to do what they want. which is
No,
to
they
move
can do whatever
faster.
they want. They just can't get places. If you want to see photos of Times Square, baby, you can look at photos of Times Square. Now, whether or not those photos are from recent past or 2007 is a wash because there's no dates. Now,
So you're eliminating the calendar too.
no, the calendar exists, but photos are unmarked.
So, who's going to go through all photos?
And unmark them?
Like, think about like the servers that host the Snapchat photo.
Well, robots are doing everything.
Plus, if you've got like a couple of those spider people, they've got 8 legs. They can work pretty quick.
That's
I assume.
true. I mean, they could do what? How many? I use 2 hands on a keyboard. I mean, they got 4 keyboards.
Sure.
So we got-
If you're giving them human hands, which 8 legs with human hands is ultimately the creepiest because that's how many appendages? That's 80 appendages.
It's too many.
How many dicks would it have?
Well, has it been castrated?
So
And
that-
do those dicks work?
well, they have ED. That's what we figured out with castration. Is well, if you get
ED
castrated,
is not a laughing matter. ED is
I'm
not a laughing
I'm
matter.
not trying to laugh.
None of this is funny,
None
and
of-
ED is the least funny of all.
All it's very serious.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, so
I'm not biased. is
so
what I'm
where
saying.
we're at right now is robot spider Nazis with erectile dysfunction.
Yes, robot German. They drive Volkswagens.
They drive Volkswagens. They control the world. But for the sake of power, like
for the sake of power. Well, they're gonna leave Earth because they're.
Is it because you're
Earth
claiming?
is doomed.
Is it because they're claiming global warming? That's why. Because how are you getting people on board with it?
What's that?
How are you getting the people on board?
The people originally?
Well, the people, because I mean, people are like you tell.
But
them,
I know what
35.
I know what you're saying. Right now, people are. You say that to people, and they'll be like, "No way." Right? But if you find a way to cut power.
To be fair, the human population will get used to anything.
That's true.
Anything.
That's true.
Well, yeah.
The Colosseum, like the idea of a Colosseum sounds terrifying to us now because we don't have one. But you introduce a Colosseum to the.
That's the only reason.
Yeah. So you.
Because we don't have one.
Yep. It's because we don't got one.
End of list.
But if you make a present day Colosseum, I mean, it's only a
I
matter
feel like there'd
of
be
time.
a couple protests.
Yeah, but if you say like, oh, but these guys raped kids, like it's a matter of time.
Also, even if you didn't, the protesters would tucker out.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get tired eventually, and then when they're tired, they'll be on their couch, and they'll go, what do you want to watch? Oh, there is that new Coliseum that just opened up. You want to watch that?
Would there still be NASCAR? They would just go 30 miles.
Oh, my God, no, because all the, like, NASCAR's demographic is watching the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Okay.
NASCAR's demographic has tuned the fuck in.
You put them together.
And those NASCAR numbers, baby, that's going to get everybody. Those you go, well, come on, millions of people are watching the Coliseum. And then pretty soon you've got everybody that's like, honey, millions of people are watching the Coliseum. And if that doesn't work, you go, well, they've got child molesters. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they're like, well, I do hate child molesters. Dude. And then you got fucking Red Bull sponsoring it.
Absolutely. And
So
then Volkswagen comes
Facebook.
in.
Everybody's on Facebook. If Facebook is showing at the top of your feed the Coliseum tonight, that's billions of people. I mean, it's
But
amazing.
how does that 35 miles per hour?
Okay.
35 miles per hour. How do you get to that from the Coliseum? So
Okay.
that happens. Is that what's happening? There's got to be a timeline.
Okay.
Like, you
So the
gotta-
timeline starts with you cutting power from those that have it.
Okay.
And then slowly
have
cutting
the
power. And then
technology.
slowly cutting power.
Do you give
And because you can
By
limit
power,
it's
you
not
mean
cutting
electricity?
it's not cutting access, it's limiting access. Because
You're
we
back.
already have limited access to stuff. So if you just slowly and progressively limit access to the outside world,
Yeah.
because here's the thing: is it starts with limiting access to the internet, right?
Uh-huh.
So you start with limiting access to the internet. People are like, that's crazy.
But you-
And then you start to limit access to like physical goods, and then you start to limit access to cars. And say you can't drive as far, and go, but that's okay because we'll bring everything to you. The more you do that, and the more power you have, the less likely anybody's going to be like, don't do that.
I also really like the thought.
That also seems super real.
Yeah.
While the rest
that
of it
felt
seems
like an
super-
impassioned cry to like.
I'm kind of glad you don't have a lot of money. Like, oh,
Yeah, I feel like
it's an idea.
because
And
you're
it-
one of
it's just an idea.
Scott, you're one of his roommates, right?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask you to kind of keep an eye
Um,
on any machinations that happen.
Like if I go walk into his room and there's just stuff hung up on the
There's
wall.
just
with
spider
signs.
legs, mechanical spider legs.
Yeah, you're gonna want to nip that.
I
in
like
the
how I was
butt real fast.
making claims to him being a murderer, and here I am being like, people with spider legs, and no one can do anything anymore.
But the internet, so you cut the internet, but
Yeah.
then they need the internet back. Do you
Yeah,
give
well,
it back to them?
but that's the thing is that's how you make limiting access to everything else okay. Is you go, but we're giving you the internet again. You know what I mean?
After you've taken all the dates off pictures.
Yes.
And made spider.
Oh my God, it's so possible, you guys. It's so
so
possible. It's so
possible.
possible. Could I do it? Probably not. Could the government do it? Oh yeah. Could I be the middleman? You bet.
Do you also take all the weights off of scales?
Yes. Nobody's fat if you can't see how big anybody is. Look.
Yeah, pump them full of corn and sugar, and then take
Oh
away the
baby.
numbers. Ah.
Cornfields.
Yes.
We got cities everywhere, and anywhere that's not a city is a cornfield. And guess what?
And then people are gonna move slower anyway. They're not going to walk
Also,
anywhere.
you could start lore and you could start mythologies about what exists outside of the cities. The witches live. They live in the woods outside of the cities, and if you go anywhere that isn't a city, you will die.
Or be cursed with spider legs.
Oh yeah. Cursed with spider legs and be forced to remove dates from photographs on 4 keyboards for as long as you live.
So just a lot of fear mongering.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
It's going to take forever to edit that one.
It's a good idea.
Entertaining.
I think you're really throwing around the word good.
You're like
Playing that fast and loose.
Yeah, you're like, it sounds nice.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know why you guys are so upset. I'm only saying it sounds good because in this scenario, I'm in charge. If I was the one that was not in charge in the scenario,
So
I'd be
you're the
horrified.
spider.
No, I'm not a spider. God, no.
You're in charge, but I thought the person
I'm not going
in
to give up my
charge was the
legs.
spider.
Well, you don't give it. You
Add
get more.
to your legs.
You get more legs, true.
Or hands.
But the spiders have ED. Well, I guess it doesn't
Right,
make much of a
that's
difference.
tricky.
All right, never mind.
Can the title of this one be
Never
But
mind.
the Spiders Have ED?
But the spiders have ED.
That's
Yeah.
a great title. Or maybe that's the title of Darnell's book.
Oh my God.
You could make the book.
You'd have to ask the dog.
Yeah.
You'd have to ask the dog
Yeah,
if that's
hey,
okay. What do you
Is that
got?
all right? And the tail wags, and you're like, yes.
He gives you one of those.
Oh, oh.
Yeah, I can be cute, guys. Yeah, I'm not all crazy. All right. So,
Okay.
all right. I just did a cute dog noise. So,
So I should obviously be the leader of this sad nation.
world.
Sorry, world.
It starts with a nation, ends with a world, and then we leave everybody in the dust.
Yeah.
Alpha Centauri, baby, here we come.
How about this? Instead
sounds-
of slowing the whole world down,
That's the
you
big
speed
idea.
up your brain so it seems slowed down to you.
Well,
That's what we could market it as.
well, you do it.
That
The
would-
VR.
We're speeding
stuff.
up people's brains, and that's why everything seems so slow.
More VR. Well, if you just put them in a virtual reality.
Oh, yeah, that would be ultimately the easiest way to do it, but way less theatrical. I was hoping for a lot of smoke.
Yes, the world is a stage. Especially when you're controlling people.
Hoping for a lot of smoke and a lot of lights. A lot of colored lights.
A lot of colored
I'm not sure what we're talking about.
I'm Darnell Anderson.
Nicki Wright.
Name's Zachary Burcar.
And I'm your host, Tom Walma. This is Creativity Wasted. I have a website, creativitywasted.com, and I also started a Patreon. So if you love the show, consider donating to Patreon.